Long before the heroes and rebels we know today were even a thought, there was a legend. A really dark, tragic legend hidden deep within the bloodline of House Paxley. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're not just looking at history, we're diving into a haunting melody of a story. A tale of immense power, unbearable heartbreak, and a nobility that was literally swallowed by shadows.
Okay, let's dive into this. Before Gusion rebelled, before Aamon carried the family burden, there was Valentina, the Duchess of House Paxley, a woman who lost the person she loved and chose darkness just to bring him back. Wow, that just hits hard, doesn't it? It's a devastating summary of her entire existence. She is quite literally the origin point of so much sorrow within this family.
But you know, to truly understand Valentina, we really have to look at how she started. She was born as the patriarch's eldest daughter. And let me tell you, from the absolute second she took her first breath, she was destined for duty. There was no soft life of comfort for her, no typical luxuries of ordinary nobles. Instead, her entire world was shaped by strict discipline and this overwhelming sacred responsibility. Just think about the sheer weight of the expectations placed squarely on her shoulders. She had to be a warrior, capable of facing unimaginable horrors. She had to be a flawless leader for her people, a perfectionist by necessity, the absolute defender of the Manyan Empire against the encroaching dark forces. And yeah, while this relentless, rigid discipline made her an incredibly powerful leader, it also left her so profoundly lonely. Because think about it, when you're raised to be absolutely perfect, you're never, ever allowed to show weakness.
Yet, even beneath the heaviest armor, a heart still beats, right? During the brutal, messy war against the Abyss, something totally unexpected happened. Valentina met Irlan. Now, Irlan was this courageous elven hero, and he was different. He didn't just see the intimidating, untouchable future leader of House Paxley. He actually looked right past that imposing title and saw the lonely woman beneath it all.
And this brilliantly illustrates the crazy duality of her life during this time. On one hand, you've got Valentina the heir, just completely crushed by pressure, bound by pride, carrying the lonely fate of an empire. But on the other hand, you have Valentina to Irlan, someone who was finally seen, truly understood, and actually allowed to be vulnerable. This fleeting romance brought out her softer side. Actually, with the elves' help through this bond, House Paxley grew even stronger, and she proudly became the Duchess. For a brief, beautiful moment, she literally had it all.
But, well, in the war against the Abyss, happiness is just such a fragile, fleeting thing. The Abyss wasn't just your run-of-the-mill enemy. It was this consuming, dark force threatening their very existence. And war? War is rarely just about the enemies standing directly in front of you, is it? The shattering of her world happened so incredibly fast. Year 1, the dark forces of the Abyss invaded the lands protected by House Paxley. Valentina and Irlan, they fought so valiantly together, true symbols of hope. But then came the day of tragedy. During a critical battle, the most dangerous, unthinkable betrayal occurred, and it came from the allies standing right behind them. And in the final minute of that chaos, Irlan's soul was tragically taken.
You can almost feel the devastating toll it took on her. A whole lifetime of stoic, picture-perfect training, it meant absolutely nothing against the crushing weight of losing Irlan. The man she loved was just gone. And the very people she trusted had played a role in it. In that one single profound moment, the proud Duchess shattered. She was instantly consumed by this overwhelming storm of grief, pain, and absolute rage.
Which brings us to the absolute darkest chapter of her life. The loss was just too great. She refused to accept his death, and she simply couldn't move on. Her desperation completely overrode everything. Her noble duty, her family, the Manyan Empire, all of it. She wanted him back, no matter the cost.
We can actually map out her psychological breakdown step by step here. It starts with this unbearable grief, right? Then, that grief morphs into a complete, stubborn refusal to accept the loss, which ultimately drives her to make a forbidden deal with an evil god. And it is so crucial to understand here, she didn't turn to the dark side for world domination or conquest. No way. She did it out of a purely obsessive, blinding need to save the love of her life.
So the crucial point is, this forbidden pact came with a terrible, eternal cost. By becoming a cursed immortal, sure, she gained eternal life and immense shadow power, but she became forever trapped in her own grief. She gained endless time, but completely lost her peace. She gained incredible power, but she totally lost her true self, just waiting through the centuries for a tiny chance to retrieve one lost soul.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how her tragedy actually manifests in her abilities.
If you've ever played against her, you know her terrifying ultimate steals enemy magic. But lore-wise, that is a tragic manifestation of her survival. She is literally turning her emotional pain into a weapon. She doesn't fight like some reckless warrior. She fights like someone who has lived way too long and lost way too deeply. Every single shadow around her is, quite literally, a haunting memory.
And the crazy thing? Her story didn't just end in the past. Valentina is the haunting legacy of House Paxley. She is this old, hidden wound that perfectly explains why the modern bloodline feels so incredibly heavy with tradition and secrets today. It explains why Gusion rebels against it and why Aamon silently carries it. She shows us exactly where this family's darkness really began.
Ultimately, Valentina's story is the glue of this entire universe. She connects love, betrayal, and deep family history all into one sweeping narrative. She links the Abyss, the Monian Empire, and House Paxley together. She's the literal genesis of the family's darkest secrets. And most importantly, she's not just a simple one-dimensional villain. She is a woman profoundly broken by loss, which makes her tragedies so deeply relatable.
If you found this dive into her history as fascinating as I did, I highly recommend you support the Lazy Gamers for more incredible character connections. For sure, go check out their explainers on Gusion and Aamon to truly grasp the full, sweeping story of the Paxley family. The way all these characters intertwine across generations is it's absolutely incredible.
I want to leave you all with one final lingering thought. When you look at the heavy, emotional weight of her sacrifice, centuries of cursed immortality, the complete loss of her very soul, how far would you go to bring back someone you love? For Valentina, the answer was simple. She sacrificed everything.